In 2012, Lionel Messi scored more goals in a single calendar year than 13 entire La Liga clubs managed across a full 38-game season. That number broke a record
the most deadly feat the Bundesliga has ever seen.
that had survived for 40 years, set by a West German striker nicknamed Der Bomber, at a scoring pace so brutal that Platini, Ronaldo Nazario, and Cristiano Ronaldo all played out full careers without ever touching it. Messi obliterated it in a single year. And the way he did it is stranger and more brutal than the number itself.
Delivery,
So how did he do it?
Messi!
Go back to 1972. A West German striker named Gerd Müller, the fans called him Der Bomber, was tearing through Europe like nothing anyone had seen. That year, he scored 85 goals for Bayern Munich and West Germany combined. He won the Bundesliga with Bayern. He won the European Championship with West Germany. 2 years earlier, he'd already won the Ballon d'Or. Müller scored at a rate of almost 1.5 goals every single game he played that year. Teammates called it impossible to sustain. He sustained it anyway. For the next 4 decades, nobody got close. Platini didn't touch it. Lineker didn't touch it. Ronaldo Nazario, at his most destructive, didn't touch it. Shevchenko didn't touch it. Even Cristiano Ronaldo, in his prime, never got within 20 goals of Müller's mark. Then, in 2012, a 25-year-old from Rosario, Argentina, decided the record wasn't as untouchable as everyone thought. Lionel Messi didn't even wait for the new year to start scoring. By the time the calendar flipped to 2012, he'd already put up 27 goals for Barcelona in the first half of that season alone. For most strikers, that's a career year. For Messi, it was a warm-up. Then came March 7th, against Bayer Leverkusen in the Champions League round of 16. Barcelona already led the tie comfortably. Nobody needed a statement. Messi delivered one anyway. He scored in the 25th minute, then the 42nd, then the 49th, completing a hat-trick inside 24 minutes, then the 58th, then, with 6 minutes left, the 84th. On November 11th, in a league match, Messi scored twice to reach 76 goals for the year. That pair of goals did something almost nobody wrote about at the time. It pushed him past Pelé's record for goals by a single player for a single club in one season, 75, set by Pelé for Santos back in 1958. Messi broke a record that had stood for over 5 decades, and it barely counted as a headline. He had bigger records left to break. Here's the part people forget about 2012. While Messi was rewriting the record books, Barcelona were falling apart around him. Real Madrid, under Jose Mourinho, ran away with the La Liga title that season, finishing 10 points clear. Then, in the Champions League semi-final, 10-man Chelsea, a team most people had already written off, knocked Barcelona out on their way to winning the whole competition. Messi missed a penalty in that game. It hit the crossbar. Barcelona lost the league, they lost in Europe, and in the middle of all of it, one player kept scoring like none of it mattered. By the second week of December, Messi sat on 84 goals for the year, one behind Müller. Barcelona traveled to Real Betis, a mid-table side with nothing to gain from being part of history. It didn't matter. In the 16th minute, Messi cut inside and finished left-footed to draw level with Müller's mark. 9 minutes later, off a back-heeled assist from Andres Iniesta, he did it again. Goal 86. A 40-year-old record broken live on a Sunday night in Seville with barely half the match played. Barcelona won 2-1. Afterward, Messi shrugged the moment off entirely. The record was nice, he said. The result was what mattered. 12 of the 91 didn't even come for Barcelona. They came for Argentina, across World Cup qualifiers and friendlies on top of a full club calendar. The kind of workload most stars would use as an excuse to slow down somewhere. Messi used it as a second training ground. There was no off-season in 2012. There wasn't really a rest week, just more matches, more travel, and more chances to add to a total that kept climbing, no matter what shirt he had on. Back with Barcelona, he didn't stop either. Days after Betis, in the Copa del Rey against Córdoba, he scored twice more to reach 88. His final appearance of the year came away at Valladolid on December 22nd. A 3-1 win that landed just 3 days after the club had been rocked by different news entirely. Their coach, Tito Vilanova, had learned his cancer was back. He was in hospital, not on the touchline, with his assistant, Jordi Roura, already running the team. Messi scored once, a quiet, unremarkable finish, his 91st goal of the calendar year, delivered for a manager who wasn't even there to see it. Vilanova would spend 10 weeks in New York that winter, receiving treatment while Roura and the players carried on without him. Barcelona won the league anyway, wrapping up the title with weeks to spare. Then, that spring, Bayern Munich dismantled them 7-0 on aggregate in the Champions League semi-final. Even in a year defined by one man's brilliance, it was proof the team around him was not untouchable. Break the number down, and it gets stranger. 78 of his 91 goals came from inside the penalty area, the least glamorous real estate on a football pitch. 14 of those were penalties, and he converted every single one he took in La Liga that year. This wasn't a season built on wonder goals from 30 yards. It was built on relentless positioning, repeated week after week for 12 straight months. Final tally, 79 goals for Barcelona, 12 for Argentina, 69 games. 1 goal every 66 minutes he spent on the pitch for an entire year, without a slow month, without an excuse. Put the number next to the only other player in that conversation. Cristiano Ronaldo scored 63 goals that same year. Messi beat him by 28. Not across a career, in 12 months. The following January, Messi won his 4th consecutive Ballon d'Or, an award nobody else in the game's history has ever won more than 4 times in a row. Over a decade later, nobody has closed the gap on the 91. Not Ronaldo at his peak, not Lewandowski's best season in Germany. The record Gerd Müller held for 40 years is now the record everyone else is chasing. And so far, chasing is all anyone has managed to do. That's what Lionel Messi's 2012 really was. The ceiling of an entire sport, rewritten by one player in 1 year. Whether anyone ever touches it again is a different question entirely.